Okay, no intro this week. So hold up.
Yes.
Everybody has been obsessed with is the Janetti, but the better is talker.
Tell me how it makes sense. I was that would make me breathless. I'm like, she's the Janetti.
Hey,
She's
you're
not
still
the
working.
Janetti. She's not the.
Oh well.
So Sammy's having some earphone issues.
Well, I got new ones. I thought I'd try them out. They do not work.
Y'all have the worst luck with headphones.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us today for the Cookout podcast, but not just any Cookout podcast, a very special edition of the Cookout podcast, one where there is no lists, there is no rankings. It is just appreciation.
Well,
Oh, is it not just appreciation?
it's not just appreciation. So we're going to be talking about growth in wrestling, the good and the bad. So
It's a conversation.
yeah, we'll say conversation. And it was running slightly late. I mean, wrestling has grown, but it's not that much really. But
It still needs work.
so I was reacting to finding out what happened at the end of NXT. There was a breakup amongst the top group that doesn't quite make sense at all. Cause how you like everybody is gushing about Gigi and like her wrestling and her booty and all that good stuff. And JC, they're like, yeah, she might be able to talk okay, but they don't gush over JC, which I think JC is also really good. But it's just like, what? There's a bunch of different ways they could have done that. But it's obvious Gigi was supposed to be the Michaels, and
Thank you.
JC even has the J for Janetti.
But
I'm not a big fan of either, but I would agree that JC is the Janetti.
Like, no offense to Janetti, but in the storyline wise, who rises to be a superstar and who doesn't? I see Gigi being HBK and not JC. Not because JC's not good, but she's not ready yet. I'll say that.
I still haven't seen the episode.
Oh, but there's also so I've been a Gigi Dolan fan since I saw her on the Gypsy series on TLC. Like she was like the only one that I actually liked because I was like, she might actually get out of this thing. And she's done very well. But
that's so crazy that she's on that show. That she was on that show.
The more that I think about it though, Marty kind of would have been successful if he had just a little bit of charisma. Sean was not the better wrestler. He just had more charisma. So I want to see where this might go. Sammy, what you got to say?
I was just going to say that, yeah, I just got home an hour ago and I showered and then made dinner and ate. So.
Look at you. You had a good time.
Did you shave your face too? You got a little haircut.
No. Oh, my. I didn't shave my face, but like I did get a haircut.
You look fresh, clean somehow.
Ain't nobody
I went from looking like Sami Zayn to looking like Roman Reigns.
Oh, you cool, but that's Roman. Like even when he had the baby teeth, he was fine.
Like
he was better with the baby teeth because the veneers is weird to me. they freak me out.
What we need to do is you need to like drench your hair, Sammy, and put some Ego style gel on it so we can really get a comparison though.
Oh yeah.
You do that, we get a comparison. It's really good.
You did not.
Okay, how do you do a bun? Is it like that? Is that how you do a bun? I know how to do a ponytail. A ponytail's that.
Like you almost had it. Like just wrap.
Oh, did I?
And then put a ponytail on.
How do you do this?
Yeah. So like basically like that, and then wrap it. Maybe go. Lord have mercy.
So while
Around
we're
your
doing this, Hassan, I accidentally missed dark. I've forgotten off and on that today is Tuesday. So yeah, I've missed some things that I needed to be in, and thought today was Wednesday. Yeah,
really?
I will catch up on AEW Dark. So for my meetings, somehow I thought that today was Wednesday. For other life things, I thought today was Tuesday. And when it comes to wrestling things, I've just missed a whole bunch of shit, apparently. Time is a weird thing.
It is. It is. That's why people like. I don't get how people do it Netflix. Like my TV routine is time management. It's like I know what happens in the morning. My soap on 2:00. 3 to 5, 3 to 6 is whatever because nothing's on.
Did you just say your soaps? Did you just say your soaps? It too. You watching General Hospital over there?
Oh my God! Why would you do General Hospital?
I almost just died.
I can't watch that no more. They done got crazy. I used to be a Passions girl. Hold up. We watch Bold and the Beautiful. Sometimes we might could watch Port Charles, Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, Passions, and then come around and we watch As the World Time? What was the one that came in at 3 on CBS with Reba and them?
Reba?
Yeah, Reba Shane, and she kept marrying Josh and his daddy and his brother and his son.
Guiding Light, maybe?
What's it
Bold and the Beautiful?
No, Bold and Beautiful comes on at 12:30 on
okay.
CBS.
My mother watched Days of Our Lives and Passions.
Days of Our Lives.
Any of the others.
I can't lie on it.
Passions used to be my. You are my passion.
I was a virgin. I was clean. Then my grandma visited, and she had control of the remote. And it was just, and then it was the craziest episode of General Hospital. With the bomb, and someone was pregnant, and someone was getting held at gunpoint in the cemetery.
Every episode of the soap opera is the craziest episode
of General Hospital. We have had Sonny have a manic breakdown. The whole damn hospital that got shut down. The only one who could save everybody is Epiphany, and she's knocked out. And like everything. That means you missed when they did the Port Charles. Okay, so they did like you know the character Sam.
Yes.
So she used to be on the soap opera that came on at 12:30 on ABC called Port Charles, and it was like really supernatural. It was like Passions, but earlier, so they couldn't do all the stuff. And like they did a crossover because General Hospital is set in Port Charles too.
Right, yeah.
They did like a crossover. It was some crazy vampire type shit happening. They were summoning people. My mama was like, I think I gotta pray after this. And I was like, but you've been watching the smut.
So I almost just died.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's a plastic bag on my floor, and I went to grab my water and just, whoa.
Nice.
Why would you, Sammy? Yes, that's asking for trouble, Sammy.
Yeah, I gotta pick up that plastic bag when we get done here.
You still haven't picked, Sammy.
It's still on the floor.
Nah, I ran through, slipped on it, grabbed my water, ran back through, slipped on it again, sat down.
Between the bun and the plastic, you are going to need more water. So before you get up,
that part,
so that we tell him, watch out for the bag.
Are you officially sitting down for the rest of the show? Do you have to get up?
He's going to need more water.
Yeah, I am going to need more water.
Like, he's going to need more water. So we just have to remind him.
I mean,
yeah.
it's that guy's fault.
Don't blame things on Kitty Joe.
Don't blame Kitty Joe.
He loves his plastic bags. It is what it is. I just have to deal with it.
Kitty Joe, what type of lifestyle you living over there? You do.
He box or a bag. No, that's what he's usually playing with. Sorry, I had to go Pearl Jam there. I love me some Eddie Vedder.
You don't have to be codependent. You could say no and not let him have the bag.
Kitty Joe look like he might fight. So I don't know if you want them problems.
Right. clawed me last night. He claws me pretty good.
Kitty
What did
Joe
you
said you
do?
gonna turn the TV to what I want to see. We gonna watch Food Network all day. Look, the Food Network be good as hell. I agree.
Bruh. This day and age, it can do a whole day. Like, all right, drop this dive in. Oh, bird smash. Oh, roasting game. Oh, we good. Oh, we good.
So you know what I've realized? They play diners, drive-ins, and dives on 420. They'll do like a super marathon that whole day, no matter what day of the week it is. And I'm like, yo, and they'll do like different restaurants from all across like the United States or whatever. And I'm like, yo, y'all are
Yeah.
smart.
That's
I
smart.
agree with that.
Great marketing strategy.
Look at you guys here. I like you. All right. So now we talked about soap operas. We've talked about who's the Genetti of the group. Kitty Joe squaring up on Sammy Joe. Anybody else have anything else before we hop into the topic for tonight?
Well, okay. So they're trying real hard to make Cody Devontae Rhodes the main event of WrestleMania. That promo yesterday, I ain't gonna lie, it was bomb. It was bomb.
Cody
But
is a heel. He is obviously the main event.
Cody is the main event of WrestleMania.
Why would you?
I don't think Roman is anymore.
Why would you want to take that from Cody? Do you know how long it took him to overcome Stardust?
I'm not saying take it away from him. I'm saying we have 2 nights for a reason.
The closer we get to Elimination Chamber, the more and more I'm hoping Sami Zayn pulls it out the bag.
And Roman has that check. So why can't Roman do 2 nights? I don't understand why this is so hard for people.
I think what we talked about on Friday may come true. I think Roman may end up losing the Universal belt to Sammy. And then he may actually pick that up and then lose to Cody. And then it all goes to shit because who cares about the damn Universal title? Like, who has really held the Universal title like that?
It was, I'll tell you the exact moment it starts sucking. When they actually let freaking Goldberg beat freaking The Fiend in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about when Goldberg defeated Kevin Owens.
No. I'm talking about when Goldberg defeated The Fiend for whatever freaking reason.
Oh, okay, we both agree Goldberg. We just disagree on when.
So when Goldberg won the belt,
when Goldberg
when it
won the
started
belt,
sucking.
that's when it died.
I can agree with that. I as a Bret Hart fan agree with that.
Well, you know what? On that note, I'm gonna start us off, and well, it's not who I was originally intending on starting off with, but you know what? Screw it. My first person I'd like to show some appreciation to is the person on my shirt, Bret Hart's brother. The Black Heart, Owen Hart. Let's freaking go.
I'm so confused at what tonight is talking about.
Diversity, but
But that's different than growth, and it's definitely different than appreciation.
You can do all of those under the same caveat, but I would also like to say that he was the first white wrestler universally adopted by Black folks. So that's some diversity there. Like he's the one that got Bret into like getting plates from the Cookout. It wasn't. It was Owen. If it hadn't been for Owen, we probably would be over there with Sean. I'm like, ooh. But we loved Owen so much. It's like Jeff Hardy. Like if there was a racial draft, those two would be like the first 2 to come over.
Yeah.
And Kevin Nash. Razor Ramon when he was still alive. Like we have like a full list. In the middle,
well, I was also planning on bringing up Kevin Nash, so I might as well say his bit now too. Native American in wrestling, like though that's a very rare thing, and having Native American myself, it's something you don't see often, and when you do see it, it's usually a stereotype, not a person actually doing it at the highest level. Like Diesel, Big Daddy Sexy, whatever you want to call him, he did it. He did it
Big
at the
sexy
highest level.
Kevin Nash. Get it right.
I mean, I seen women calling him Big Daddy Sixes. So Kevin Nash was definitely an early example of like diversity in wrestling, but I didn't know that he was Native American until more recently.
Low key, I didn't know he was Native American until you just said something. I'm like, wait, hold up. I'm playing it cool, but I'm like, wait, when did he, what?
I'll be real. Kevin Nash actually was one of the wrestlers that I found really relatable because when y'all remember the old school wrestling magazines and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like he would have his fan club, and they would all be like black ladies over there. And I was like, wait, there's like this is a white wrestler that's like main event level, and he's hanging out with women that look like me.
I'm
And
just
he
like,
looks more like he looks like he's engaging. And when people would talk about it, because message boards back in the day were
hilarious.
sometimes, but we codes. Look, I have like 56 emails just full of like codes to get past like the firewalls and stuff. But like seeing Kevin Nash and hearing about Kevin Nash, hell yeah, I liked him.
So I would say as a kid, Kevin Nash was my favorite wrestler. And then he made comments about Eddie Guerrero, and that pissed me off, and I was anti Kevin Nash for a long while. And like he's walked it back a bit, and like I understand what he was trying to say. It's just how he said it. And I have a problem with that too. It's I say things and it's not what I meant to say. I just say it in a way that just comes off wrong, and it makes me relate to him even more now. And so I've completely come back onto the Kevin Nash bandwagon.
I mean, and then low key, like him and Scott Hall. Like when I heard they went to Japan and they came out to the Fuji's Ready or Not, Here I Come. I'm like, hold up, wait, y'all didn't need more smoke. Y'all didn't need more smoke, but y'all really did that. Come on, man.
Like you felt like these people actually like appreciated the culture. Like they were actually cool. Like these were people that
so cool.
You would hang around if it was like a larger area that it felt cool. And like I think that's what helped make wrestling feel cool, and what helped like get in the 90s a lot of like rap and hip hop culture into wrestling, and that helped a lot of progress. But it also kind of gave us stereotypes as well.
Now, do you guys mind if I actually name who I was actually going to name for my number one?
I'm scared.
I'm talking about the Wall. The Wall. The Wall. Mark Henry. Sorry, I went with his older theme, not the somebody gonna get that.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have went with the other song. My bad. My bad. I should have went with the other one.
For you to be the baby, you have
I respectfully disagree. I feel like
number one what?
Like number one person to name. That was the number one person who I had in my mind of who I was gonna say. But our conversation had drifted with Bret Hart and everything, and it's no list, no rankings. It's just when I say number one, the first one that was in my brain that I was planning on saying.
Explain to me the thought process. I'm not sure I understand. Maybe I'm just not.
So
I don't know. I guess I'm missing what's going on.
So we're under the
I understand
that we're all under is diversity in wrestling. The good times, the bad times, the growth, the evolution.
So what exactly does Mark Henry represent for you, Sammy?
Yes.
I guess that's my question. I'm not.
Why do you appreciate
So he wasn't as tall as the other wrestlers, one. Two, he wasn't as thin as the other wrestlers, but he was the strongest, of any wrestler. And also when you take into account of how he grew up, where he came from, like that really takes into account too. He was a man who made himself, and
I'll say this: 2011, when he had the World Heavyweight Championship, he was in his bag. Of course, he was on SmackDown. SmackDown's the best show on between both brands, and so so I really was feeling him when he was the World Heavyweight Champion. Like one segment that I had in mind was when Booker T was interviewing him, and Booker T was raising his voice. Like, you lower your tone, Booker. Like, wait, hold up, wait, time out. Let him play. This is not a real thing. You're not a real thing. And then he started doing the whole strongman thing of moving a full full on SU. Let's call it 16 wheels on his back, because he was actually the world's strongest man. I did like that age of Mark Henry. I really did think that that was a good era for him.
Is it good to see a person of color with the heavyweight championship in WWE? Absolutely, of course, no doubt about it. At the same time, he was also part of the worst storyline in WWE history when Mae Young gave birth to a hand. But I'm just saying, that's the highs and lows, though, right? I'm not saying it has to do with the fact that it is whatever, but you know what I mean? It's the truth, right? It could have been anybody, but it was Mark Henry, so it's like, it's almost like, yeah, we give him up here. It's the same shit they've done with Kofi Kingston, right? So they give him a title run, but then they put him in some bullshit spot also, right? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, thank you, and then slapping you in the face at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
I
In some
have
respects.
a couple Mark Henry stories I'd like to talk about.
Okay, first thing first, I do appreciate that was before he was champion. That like he didn't lose the title and he was straight, and then he descended into Mae Young with the hand. So
sure.
I appreciate that. There you go. Sam.
Wasn't that a punishment storyline though?
Was it?
I think so. Because he wasn't picking up wrestling or something as fast as Vince wanted. It was something.
Oh, awesome. So punish the guy that's not picking up the wrestling as fast as he should with a shitty ass storyline.
That's Vince.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm just saying,
basically everybody we're going to name, we can have a shit story about Vince with it.
Shit.
So there's a couple stories I'd like to mention about Mark Henry. First off, when he came into the company, The Undertaker said to him, look at this big old baby face. And Mark Henry replied with, I ain't no goddamn baby face. And oh boy, was Mark Henry right. His best run in the company was him as a heel.
Yeah.
The second story is they had him rolling up frying pans, and they replaced it with one that's not one that bends.
Mm-hmm.
And he got red in the face and bent it anyways because he's Mark Henry.
I think I actually watched that one, but that one, like that storyline, also bothered me because it was like, I get he's the world's strongest man, but just the way it felt like they were putting him on display. Like that time in wrestling was really, really bad for like everybody who wasn't essentially somebody Vince would bang.
And there's a third one. The third one is when he had his match with John Cena. And he came out and was like, I'm retiring and all this other stuff. And then just slams John Cena. Oh, we got a match.
That was a storyline that for me, that there could be a turn in WWE when it comes to having a heel be a non-white person. That storyline, it wasn't because Mark Henry was black that he was mad at John Cena. It was like, no, Mark Henry wants this belt. And it was just because like normally you have the heels for so long in WWE, the heels were foreign or they were non-white, and it was all about I'm angry because of this
Yeah.
circumstance, which we need to talk about in the world, but the way it was approached was not at all good. And that one right there, and just kind of like how Mark Henry's justification was, I want this belt. You have this belt.
Or
I'm gonna beat your
more
ass
so
till I
like,
get this belt.
like he's like, you think I'm done? I still got more left in the tank. If anyone says I saw the swerve coming, y'all lying. Y'all lying. Everyone thought he was retiring with that pink, beautiful blazer on.
I still to this day when I watch that promo back, I'm just like, he gonna retire. He gonna retire. And then he just like, and it's like,
yeah.
Straight up, I will still listen to Mark Henry's theme songs to this day. Just randomly in the day, I'll go onto YouTube and I'll type it in, look it up, and listen to them because they slap.
Somebody come get them.
but that
Damn.
when Mark Henry came in during that 90s period of WWE, can we all kind of agree that the Attitude Era was, in hindsight, really bad for most people?
I want to applaud my parents because I really think they was real fast on the trigger. Cause when I was in college, right, getting through writing the paper or studying, I'm like, I would put on the Attitude Era, right, and I'm like, I don't remember this. When did this happen? Okay, I remember that. What the hell? It's like, oh, what's in us? Cause I think either two things: my parents were fast on the trigger, or Monday Night Football was happening and they was flip flopping because my dad loved football. I think both, either one or both things happened because half the stuff I don't remember.
I had to catch a lot of stuff later because I grew up in a WCW household.
Okay, so why did WCW feel like, in terms of respecting differences, they literally felt like they, in a lot of ways, they were ahead of WWF at the time?
Because,
I don't know. Because Terry Bollea was at the top of the creative of that company.
There's a difference between Ted Turner and Vince McMahon, though, too, at the time.
And I also believe.
Okay, thank you for saying that. ALW now are Real Housewives of Atlanta.
And I do believe there's a freshness of being a new company and doing everything new to try to beat your opponent. So it's like they don't have any what was I gonna say? Diverse superstars. Oh boom, Eddie Guerrero. Oh boom, Booker T. Oh boom, 30-year-old Diamond Dallas Page that just started wrestling at age of 30.
And all the love to DDP.
He's had like the best career out of.
Bang! I was like, oh!
I was just like, when I found out how old he was when he started, I was like, what the fuck?
And don't look a year older. Don't look a year worse. If you say he was 26, oh okay, yeah, cool. He looks like it. Yep, you do.
But it's just like you see, like during that time period, you see they didn't have like a lot of women. Like that was the problem across both companies, both main American companies, was the women not having an opportunity to actually be wrestlers. They were just out there to be ballets or
eye candy,
like Brian Penny's matches. Like I'm just like, you can't even really do anything because if you see a nipple, then we gotta censor. Maybe.
Well, it depends because I still remember when Sable and Jackie. Shout out to
the handprints.
That's it, dude. I'm like, now I remember that because you can't.
My dad was not allowed to watch wrestling for 2 weeks after that. Not me. My dad and my mom were not allowed to watch for 2 weeks after that.
You know, being a valet would be pretty fun, though. Now that I think about that.
But think about like how many really good women's wrestlers we had being valets.
Like I
Like
said,
sensational
exactly.
No.
Sherry.
I was thinking about like DDP doing it as a man.
Well, yeah, but like that. That's like kind of rare that you have like a manager actually end up being a good talent too. But it's just like sensational Sherry.
But he wasn't, you know,
Yeah,
planning
that's-
on being a wrestler. He was planning on being a valet. That's what he came in for.
I've heard stories that he wanted to be a wrestler too.
I mean, he started doing valet, what, like 88? And he started wrestling like 94? Was it
Yeah.
94?
No, it's probably around that time, but you know, he was older, so shit. I'm 32. I can say he was old, and our bones start to hurt after a while, and that shit's a lot. Like I can't take no long.
Well, you know what?
Them 90s 30-year-olds was different.
But you got the old person now, DDP Yoga, got everybody all nice and fresh and cool and renewed for the next 10 years. But from the man who started wrestling at the age of 30, he knows something. He knows something.
So is that why? Do y'all think that's why we tend to gravitate, like folks like us tend to gravitate towards companies like early TNA, early and mid TNA, and like AEW, and now as we're seeing, like the Japanese wrestling, because we have the diversity in so many different ways. Like you have diversity in gender, you have diversity in romantic relationships, you have diversity in like I'll be for me for TNA it was the women's wrestling. Like
dude, oh my
these
god,
are the first ones that I saw women getting like extreme besides like Francine and them on ECW.
yeah.
Like, this had storylines and it wasn't just you slept with my boyfriend, it was I want this belt and I want to beat your ass, and it's like they're doing all these, and I'm just, it was a whole new world to me.
Shout out to Gail Kim, man, because I remember her first year at WWE, where they gave her the belt, and rightfully so. But for some reason, okay, that was enough. What? But then TNA rolls up, and she was a valet. But they're like, you know what? Let's give them a division. And her and Awesome Kong.
You know, you mentioned Japan, and there's a match I gotta bring up: Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki.
Yo,
like talk about changing the dynamic of pro.
That does not seem like something. Like when you say that, tell me that doesn't seem like something that we made up.
Right. And it makes total sense of why Mike Tyson to this day is a big fan of professional wrestling, because Muhammad Ali was his idol.
And no offense, but ESPN, these are the stories that I want to know, because it's like, hold up. I think Tibbet said it. Was that the reason that we have New Japan? That match between him and Muhammad Ali? But we don't know this stuff because the history is not there, or you're not sharing it with people. Now, to your question of gravitating, wording is hard. Gravitating towards diverse companies like TNA and AEW, I think more so it really is a matter of diversity and also a feeling. Like honest, like it's weird when my mom said that she was a fan of NWA instead of WWE, and it's like, you know what? That's crazy, because that's Ric Flair. That's the Four Horsemen. And who do I love? My favorite is HBK. It's just like, so it's like, who patterned his movements towards the person. So like, and then AJ Styles as well. So it's like, that really is crazy that it's not ingrained, but you never think that stuff will be a genealogy thing of like in the same style of wrestling, the same genre of wrestling, if you can call it that.
New Japan is a magical place where the foreign heels are all Americans.
Yes.
I mean, the reality is that diversity-wise, the world of wrestling is more diverse today in 2023 than it's ever been, right? You have more women wrestling, you have eyes on more cultures wrestling than ever before. I mean, in the 80s, it was just WWE as far as on TV, and they were all white guys, right? Except for the random token, whatever here and there. You know what I'm saying? And
And most
It
of
even
was
those
in
were
like
American too.
Junkyard Dog,
yeah, you
and
did, but there was like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could count them on one hand. Like there was no
Yeah.
PWI top 500 black wrestlers list
Mm.
in the 80s and early 90s. Like there just wasn't. There wasn't even
Like,
500 professional black wrestlers. I mean, there might have been in spread out territories, but no one knew about them. You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't
like,
whatever. So
like,
yeah, I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm all for it. At the same time, like that implies that we've come a long way and that we don't have that. Maybe there's not as much work to be done as there still is. I mean, the reality is that there's still for every one black or ethnic person of color superstar, there's 5 to 10 white ones, be it male or female. You know what I mean? That are taking, that are hogging all the camera time. So it is what it
like,
is. I mean, obviously it's better than it was, but you know,
like, it's funny,
still
but it's
got a
not
lot to go.
funny. Yeah, it's funny, but it's not funny when we were talking when we were doing the whole who's overrated, and you said Shawn Michaels, I said Bret Hart, and you're like, what black person is Shawn Michaels pull over? It's not funny, but it's like there wasn't anybody over there. Who was he
Yeah.
gonna pull? And it's like it's not funny, but it's funny. Like it
No,
was
I
only the
mean,
person he tagged with when he was taking down Sonny and
I
and
mean,
the dude from APA. And
when
it's
you
like
were
it's
a
not
kid,
funny, but
when
it's not
you when
funny,
you
but
and CM were children, like who did you really have to cheer for that looked like y'all? I mean, you didn't really. I
Jackie.
mean, that was maybe
I
that
had
was
Miss
even
Jackie. At the time, I thought I had
Jackie.
Mark Marrow and um, yes, y'all, for the replay and for everybody who is here live. A bunch of us were, 5 years ago when we found out that Mark Marrow and Taz were not. And it was like when Black Twitter found that out, it was a damn like, wait.
and I'll be honest with you, like today in preparation for this, like I googled Jewish wrestlers, and they gave me a litany of names on different sites that had been both proven since then and to not be true. It listed Kevin Nash as Jewish, which he's clearly not. But it listed, that's what I'm saying. It listed a Bleacher Report had Kevin Nash listed as a Jewish wrestler. So here's the thing. The
Colt
thing is that one, we don't
Cabana.
even know, right? Because people are weird about divulging whatever, and they should have a right to their privacy. Don't get me wrong. Like I have no entitlement to know what your ethnicity is. At the same time, I want to know what the fuck you are. So tell me. You know what I mean? So but above and beyond that, like, I mean, because we don't know, and because people are weird about saying shit, you don't want to say shit like that. There's some people that don't want to admit to being whatever or whatever. So, you like we've talked about in the past about how The Rock doesn't want to claim he's black or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or Tiger Woods has been blasted his whole life or his whole career for not wanting to claim that he's black. Like, oh, he
No,
ain't
that's
took a
because
stand.
that fool said he's Cablasian. And everybody was like, what the fuck is a Cablasian?
You know what I mean? But it's
Caucasian, black, and Asian, I'm guessing.
Yes,
It's
everybody was
like
like, what, just say you biracial. You ain't
yeah,
gotta know Cablasian. Like, tell me that don't sound, I got Cablasian.
like
so we don't even, we don't even know. Like, I mean, I right now MJF is really the only one that I can distinctly have said has come out and said I'm Jewish and I'm a world champion and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I
Colt
mean,
Cabana.
Colt Cabana, sure, but he's a mid card wrestler. I mean, we're talking about. So here's a perfect example. Like, and it's terrible, but this is how Jews feel about stuff. So when Barack Obama was elected president, my dad was at a pro Obama election party, whatever, and one of his Jewish friends turned to my dad and said, "A black man was elected president before a Jew," and he honestly believes that the Jews are even more just throughout history singularly pinpointed as the source of everything bad in the world, that you just were fucked forever. Now, for me, it's not a competition. I don't care. It's all bad. It doesn't matter who's had it worse. It's all bad. Anyone that's had to toil in the mud, been enslaved, it's all fucked. I don't care whether it was yesterday, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Fuck them all. But here's the thing. We still need to push forward, right? All we are people, and all we can do is come together and support each other. And that's, so I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is interesting to me. I mean, I don't. it's hard. When I look around at wrestling, there aren't a whole lot of people that. I mean, yes, I'm white, but at the same time, I mean, it's weird. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people who identify as Jewish. Um, and there's a lot of negativity around Judaism, just like there is around Black people. So, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, the only way we were going to get anywhere better is to change hearts and minds, and that's hard work. And I don't know that everybody's hearts and minds can be changed. Some people are not changeable. I mean, I'd like to think everybody is. And then I think about other stuff. Here's the reality, right? Like, it's more insidious, right? It's so insidious that it doesn't matter what it is. It can be because I have $1 more than you. It can be because my car has nicer paint on it than yours. It can be because I'm an inch taller than you. It can be because you're a pound lighter than I am. It doesn't matter what it is. We will find something to divide each other from each other. We'll find something in some way for someone to feel that they're better than somebody else for no fucking reason. It just, I mean, and you can see it even in the animal world. Like, the animals do it too. Like, the biggest baboon's in control of the herd. You know what I mean? The biggest lion, the toughest lion. It's this insidious instinct to have to put yourself above, and some of it is survival of the fittest. But in 2023, really, what are we surviving for in that respect? We're not necessarily fighting for that immediate survival. We're not starving. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, in that respect. So we got to let some of that shit go. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
So a couple of points. I want to say to the Tucker Woods thing, if only the phrase racially ambiguous was out there for him, I think that would solve a whole lot of his problems.
It was. It's been a thing since passing was a thing. Since certain folks found out what passing was, it's been a thing.
So does it bother you that he's racially ambiguous?
No,
because he's not. He never has been. He has clearly been.
And so,
perceived as what he is. Like, he can say all he wants to. Like, I am biracial. Like, Barack Obama has even said he is perceived as a Black man and he is biracial. In our community, we understand it a little bit better. But what others see is pure Black man. There is no racially ambiguous for him. You could have that more for, like, Zendaya.
Yep.
You could be perceived as racially ambiguous. You say what?
Or Hook.
Hook.
His daddy Puerto Rican, ain't he? Taz is not white.
I think Taz is white.
Italian.
I thought they were Italian.
Taz is white.
Yeah, I think that Taz is
Italian.
Yeah.
He said he's not Sicilian, but I think he's Sicilian, which would explain some things. But he's Italian.
Okay, my bad.
That is a white man.
I'm saying Taz, they ain't a spray tan on Taz. I thought he was something else than Tyler.
Taz said he ain't got no Sicilian, but I think I know.
And to that note, it's like I don't want to be disrespectful to other races or other ethnicities, but when you're Black, right, it's hard to get away from this.
No doubt.
So it's like, what about the Irish? What about the Italians? No offense, but in certain circumstances, if you have to pass as white to get off on certain things, you're going to do it because it's easy. You can't pass this. So it's like, no offense to other people, but it's like, I don't want to. You know what? We're into it. I don't want to lessen your struggle, but sometimes it's just like, bruh.
Yeah, I understand that because, like, although the Irish had it hard, there were moments where it's not like, oh, that guy's Irish. You wouldn't know that they're Irish.
Exactly. You won't know unless you claim it. And I get why some people don't want to claim it because, hey, you claim it, it's a rougher path for you. Just like Kevin Nash, he might be Jewish, but you don't want to claim it because people are very stupid about that. Because it's like,
it might have been that way with Lola Montez.
Huh?
It might have been that way with Lola Montez.
I don't think I know who Lola Montez is.
Like the most famous Spanish dancer of all time. but was an Irish woman. And I think at that time, like, nobody knew she was Irish.
Okay, yeah, and to that point, I didn't know Catherine Zeta-Jones wasn't Italian, wasn't Latino. So I'm like, oh, Zorro, she's not speaking. When I was watching Zorro, I thought she was straight up Latino until Chicago came out and it said she's from New Zealand. I'm like, what? I'm sorry. I don't be divulging into people's ethnicities like that unless you tell me.
I was watching E.T. Inside Edition. That's how I knew.
Which is fine. And again, like I was saying, it shouldn't matter, right? Like in theory, it really shouldn't matter.
Hold
But
on.
it does. But it does, right?
I'm not gonna say it shouldn't matter. It matters because my culture gets disrespected a whole hell of a lot. Like we get told a lot of times, like, oh, none of my like slavery was hundreds of years ago. You should get over it. To be technical, besides the debate over the 13th Amendment, the last functioning plantations that we know of were discovered and disbanded in the 70s, not the 1870s, the 1970s. And for years, when Black folks said, don't go to these places, it was just, oh, because you think they're racist. No, it's because they were taking people and enslaving them.
Not funny, but it's a comedian named Rodney who has a joke about how Black people use music as messages. They're like, well, there's no patriotic, happy Black songs. No, there's not. Well, what about James Brown Live in America? Listen to the sound. He does Pacific states, New York, Detroit, New York City, Orleans. He's being very specific about what city she's supposed to go and living in America.
But I'm gonna also say it like this: as a Black woman, I've noticed, and I'll speak about what I've noticed on multiple fronts. On one front, you have someone like Big Swole. When that whole interview debacle came out, and it was because someone had misconstrued her words, that she ends up with her new year being with people bullying her. Because she didn't say anything negative about AEW. She didn't say anything negative about Tony Khan. But because he didn't listen to what she said, he instead took his perception of her. He tweeted out what he tweeted out and was disrespectful. And when Black wrestlers stood up and told him that was disrespectful, he threw a hissy fit and got rid of them or treated them like shit. Then you have somebody like Jade who has great potential, but because she's not the look that you're used to, everything that she does gets criticized.
Or she's threatening to your top stars as well. You're just going to put her to the side. And yeah, we're giving her a belt, but it's like, no, actually give her a storyline. Actually give her some progressiveness. Actually, like, you want her to be better. That goes with putting time in behind the scenes and on television. And you just let the chips fall where they may. Like, I hope he's not listening, but if he is, fine. They're talking about it was like a month ago of Sasha Banks and Naomi, and I was like, well, and they're like how WWE is not progressive towards Black female wrestlers, and I wasn't going against it. I'm saying, but there is progression. We have Bianca Belair, and then SP3 made this note of, but it's still a thing of you can only have one. Yep. Where it's like that's why you don't see Naomi, Sasha, and Bianca together because you can only have one. It's like, dang, like you don't. It's real subliminal until someone points it out. Where it's like,
well, and here's the thing, right?
I can do you one better though. I can do you one better. Look at the Women's Royal Rumble this year. Look at the Women's Royal Rumble. B-Fab was in the match for 20 seconds. That was all your Black women representation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And nobody said anything.
No one said anything.
Shit, when we want to talk about Naomi, look at how these folks get online and talk about her like, oh, she's calling Sasha like a lapdog. She's doing this, she's doing that. You point out the fact that this woman, when she came on to NXT, when it was a game show, had the fans behind her to the point they were putting her over Caitlyn, over AJ every week. Then all of a sudden, you start to notice like her placement changes. She gets hit with like sanctions that no one else has, and they move her out. We don't talk about the fact Naomi was the first FCW Women's Champion. We don't talk about the fact that they told her to limit her moveset because she was being too athletic for the other women.
Cause I'm seeing what's her name? Not was it Abaddon on NXT? The little Irish witch lady. She's doing the same move that Naomi was doing, which was basically having the girl inverted and then just basically doing the clothesline. I'm like, wait, hold up.
The split leg
moonsault. Naomi do that right before she turned heel.
The actual move, like this one was busting out things that the new girls can do, but when she went to do them, no. Before there was give Divas a chance, there was give Naomi a chance. That inspired everything else. We don't give her the Divas Revolution conversation. She was a heel during that.
It's the whole I just go back to when AJ Lee cut her promo against the Total Bellas, Total Divas. I'm like, why isn't it? And in my mind, I'm like, why is Naomi in the ring? There is nothing about Naomi. Yeah, I know she was on the show for 2 seasons, but you took her out because you knew that it was too fluffy. But for some reason, you just need her in this ring for this dumb behind promo. I'm like, no, take her out.
But if you notice in that promo, AJ didn't really say anything about her or towards her. It was towards everyone else, because even then it was well known. Anything you give Trinity, she can nail it and she will give it the best of her ability. But that was a problem. That is still a problem. For all the growth that wrestling has made, and it has made a shit ton, we also have to look at the reality that when it comes to race, ethnicity, there's a lot to be desired. Because as much as I love AEW, and I'm not particularly a huge fan of Sonny Kiss, the fact that they trot Sonny out for Pride Month, and then it's like no more matches for you except for on Dark and Dark Elevation. Like, why? Like the Kenny Omega match that match could have been really, really good between those two.
Him versus Cody, when Cody was doing the whole TNT title run. I'm like, okay, that actually was pretty. He actually had some she had some decent movesets. But as much as moments happen, it's really about who you're putting the time again in behind the scenes and on television. That's what really matters. You can't just give them a moment and then shove them off.
Well,
because,
and the other thing is,
we had your moment.
Racism is so institutionalized and so prevalent and so insidious that whenever something happens with somebody, it's always going to come down to, was it because they were a person of color or not? And you never know the truth, right? I mean, you don't know. Like you can make your guesses and you can assume, and a lot of times we do know. Yeah, it probably is because, but and that's generally why. And that's something people always have to think about, especially people of color. I mean, you always have to wonder why something's going on. It's because it happens all the time, that you can't just be like, oh, well, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Because it does happen. So you have to think about
that. You mean
like
Brock Lesnar and his irrational hatred of black men holding the WWE title?
It's so many times.
Sonny and Dustin was a baller tag team. I loved it. Those two together. Now on to okay, so Bobby Lashley is haunting Brock's dreams. Like, how y'all feel about this?
Okay, so I vomited a little bit in my mouth when he was talking about being on top of Sable for 5 hours, and I was just like, oh my god, I want to make Sable a GoFundMe because she has to deal with that and that voice for 4 to 5 hours.
That's probably where the voice came from. Baby, can you do an accent? I'm sorry, your regular voice ain't getting it. It's getting dry down there.
At least I'm not the only one who lies awake at night thinking of Bobby Lashley.
More Texas, baby, more Texas.
I
All
mean,
right, now we're
if that's what you want to do, Sammy, get in where you fit in. But like to say after I bang my wife, I'm thinking about like we have really not gotten past that. So we haven't gotten past that storyline of Bobby Lashley being in these men's heads as they're having intercourse, and then that plays into a stereotype as well. That I don't think a lot of people actually have thought about, like the black man being like this all powerful, like aura, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if you racist. You come off like you could be, but you also just don't like people. So I don't know if it's racism.
But
because
to your point,
he
did the same thing to AJ Styles. He did the same thing to Samoa Joe. He did the same thing to Daniel Bryan. So there is a 25% chance that you're just a butthole in general. It is.
I don't know, because it's like he is a genuine person who hates people. So I don't know, but I do know the character of Brock Lesnar has an irrational hatred of black men having that belt.
Yeah, and I think the character's supposed to be racist myself. I think he's supposed to come off racist.
It's like this is
come off as hating people. We don't know. We don't know the line between what is Brock, what's not. All we know is that he has a weird helium sounding voice.
But that's why you need Jamal the intern in these spaces. So when the storyline comes out and you're like, what everyone think? Jamal can just raise his hand and say, does anyone notice that he's really beating a whole heck of a lot of black champions? That's why Jamal the intern need to be there.
But what if Jamal is like the guy who likes the charcuterie boards and will say whatever he tells him to do for some?
So, I just wanted to ask Seth Rollins and Goldberg. Was there anyone else that Goldberg took the title off of that wasn't black besides those two? Because those are the only two I can think of right now.
Seth Rollins and Goldberg. Wait. You mean Brock Lesnar?
Yeah. Did he take the title off Roman, or did Roman always take the title off of him?
I think he took it off Roman.
Incident.
I think he took it off Roman, and then didn't he take it off Bray?
He did. He took off the Fiend. Oh my God, yes he did.
No, Goldberg took it off the Fiend.
Yes.
I thought Brock took it off the Fiend too.
Brock. Going back to Brock.
Well,
I was going to say The Rock, but nope, The Rock is black. No, I'm pretty sure Kurt Angle. We're going to go way back to 2003. But
now we went all the way back then.
You're right. Yes. All right.
10, 13, 20 years ago.
We did take it off of Kurt Angle.
It was Kurt Angle. And Taker was Taker. Taker too. Taker. It was.
It's a damn shame. We got to go all the way back to that. What the fuck?
I will say
but basically every black world champion has all lost their belts to Brock.
I will say this. 2003, 2004, Brock Lesnar, I could rock with. I don't know what the freak they had when he came back to 2000. John Cena! And John Cena!
Oh, yeah. How we forget about John Cena?
Because John Cena be,
Do we all collectively just want to forget about John Cena?
It's because we couldn't see him.
2014 was just, yeah.
I have had a problem, and it has been bothering me for a long time. And I get it's because of the positions they are in within the company. It's bothered me that Zachary Wentz from the Rascals, the ones that was smoking the weed in NXT and stuff. So like, he gets, and I guess it's also the same thing as Rich Swann, because they both had issues with like domestic abuse. Mm-hmm. Although Zachary Wentz's became a weird thing, and Rich Swann's ended up being because they were fighting back and forth, and they both lose their jobs. And this young man loses his job because he takes a picture, and it is him doing the Hitler salute, which you absolutely under no circumstances should ever be done. And also WWE let JBL do it in Germany where it's illegal. One. And you have Seth Rollins who brings an actual Nazi on TV and on his social media. And there's never been any apology that he's issued for that. And that doesn't seem to bother people. Like, they love Seth Rollins. Oh, go up for him. Oh, go up for him. You brought someone who has said some really horrible things, like amongst being a Nazi, like you're also racist and you've done some weird things with My Little Pony. But like you bring this woman onto the screen and you've never had to apologize, but you fucking Titus O'Neil got suspended for telling Vince to let Stephanie go first.
I'll say
he got berated on fucking TV for Randy Orton missing a spot. You have a man who loses his job because
it's about how popular and how quickly they shut it down. I'll say for me, I didn't know any of this. I don't remember this part because they probably shut it down and erased it from everybody's memory before it got started.
Yeah, I hadn't known about it until you told me.
You don't remember the night that his ex-fiance found out that he was cheating with the little girl that was on NXT with Corey Graves as his sister or whatever, and there was like a weird type incest vibe to that. And like she put his nudes and her nudes on Seth Rollins' WWE Twitter, and they did not pay attention to that for a while. And then they were like, "Shit, what do we do now?" That's why most of these wrestlers do not have control of their social media because it's Seth Rollins. But like it happened during Raw. She put it out. That's where we all got to see little Seth. And crack jokes about that. That was a fun night on Twitter. But it was all there. And then the next, like, he was in the crowd and she was sitting next to him. And it's just like, she's been outed to be a Nazi by this time.
I don't know none of this, girl. I'm so serious. I don't remember none of this. And that's probably because, like you said, and when it finally gained traction, they shut it down. That's probably,
he was the first member. He was the first member of the Shield to have like a scandal. He was the first one, and we all thought it was going to be John. Well, at the time, Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose was the most cool. Okay, so
what scandal has he had? I mean,
not really. No.
Well, technically, during like before he became Moxley, there was that whole thing with Rebby Sky and the alleged like restraining order situation. That's the only thing I can think of, really.
Now I'll say this: we have come a long way, and it's kind of hard to not put your fears and what you were trained with onto the next generation. And I'll say this because I'm glad you brought up the Shield. So Survivor Series, Shield versus New Day, right? This is when my nieces and nephews were watching wrestling with me, right? We're all black, and for some reason, all them little ninjas were going for the Shield. And so,
I mean, it was cool.
I'm kind of playing real cool. I'm like, why? Why are you going against the Shield? Why not? Shield. I'm like, but do you? Like, I try to be cool. You not see the other team? Roman Reigns. I'm like, okay, the one Samoan with the two white. And now I'm having an existential crisis I'm having a conversation with my inner voice. I'm like,
I mean, the Shield look like they could be like superheroes. Like it could be on a Marvel movie. The New Day had like unicorn head, like horns on their head, twerking. If I was a kid, I would have gone for the cool looking dudes. I couldn't help that.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, you want kids to be colorblind and root for who they want to anyhow, right? It shouldn't matter whether it's just because they're black or white or because they look like me or not, right? Like,
that's how I was raised. But like nowadays, it's not like that anymore. Now it's considered racist not to see color. So I don't know.
I think when we say see color, I think we have to not say see color, but more so like see the ethnic differences, and if not understand and appreciate them, just be respectful and know that there's differences. Like there are things that Anika and I can like crack jokes on all day, every day, just by looking at each other. But that's not something that easily translates amongst all of us. And that's just like a cultural thing. Like there are things that I know I don't feel comfortable with Black champions saying to people of color when they're cutting promos. And then you have like MJF and the Takeshita promo, and it's like,
Like for me, I didn't even know until a couple years ago that you're not supposed to eat spaghetti on a first date.
What?
You're not supposed to eat spaghetti at all. Sam.
Well, yes, you are correct. That's what I meant.
You gotta be, if you don't make the spaghetti yourself,
If you don't make the spaghetti, you don't eat the
You don't
spaghetti.
eat that spaghetti. You don't eat that spaghetti. But it's also like the thing when remember the whole discussion about washing chicken, the whole discussion that we had about that, and just like that's a thing, and being respectful of that. I will say that I have seen when it comes to wrestling, I've seen a lot more of the indies show respect to that and have appreciation for that than I have main companies. Like main companies will start off really well and then they drift off. And I'm not sure if that's because they think that Black people, people of color, and like white folks can't all watch wrestling and like have people that look like them and root for people who look like them and who look different. Like I wonder if they think they have to cater to their core fan base, and that core fan base may not be who they think it is. Like Black women kept Ted Turner's WCW on, but when the outsiders came, look at Nash. Like y'all think I'm joking, but if you look up his early fan club pictures, these Black women and they all looking at him like, hey, and he's looking at them like, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
Big section was big section.
And they was like, we want all of this. Like when he was look, when I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So when I went to go see Magic Mike with someone who I won't ever mention who I went with, but it was a bunch of older Black women in there just for Kevin Nash. I was like, why there's people in here that look like their mama age? Like, and Kevin Nash come on, and all you hear is, and I'm like, but his stiff is all good. Oh my God, he's still so fine. And I'm like, who grandmama is that? Ew.
Like, you're making me uncomfortable. We both can't like the same dude. I'm sorry. It's weird. We can, but don't tell me. It's weird.
It's like, so like, you have generations who watch it and they like different folks, but I wonder, like, as my children get older, and if y'all ever want to spawn off, or Kitty Joe decides that he wants to watch wrestling and have more say so in it, like, how can these main companies bring in things like these indie wrestling companies? Because you have things like Bussy, which every time I say that, I swear y'all two over here seem to forget what the fuck Bussy stands for, and we have to go into what it stands for, and then devolve.
You have to pronunciate, because I'm hearing the P word.
In case y'all didn't know, it's
like,
pussy, but with the B for bussy.
It's ass. It's the asshole. They call it boy pussy. That's what it is. It's the asshole. It's the asshole. Okay? But it's also a tag team name. But like, how can, and they have a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
Like anywhere both of them go or one of them go, you have fans. And it's
You
like,
start talking about Bussy and somebody left.
it's like that all night. But it's like, how do you bring in this appreciation of differences and the melding that happens across most indies into mainstream wrestling, and can you and have it be sustained?
Like, I
Do
think
y'all
you
think
just
that
start
could
with
be happening?
just start with I think really start with the baseline. Everyone loves good wrestling. So like start with the baseline of how good they are in the ring, and then like, okay, they're good in the ring, and then go towards their character, because I'm like, everybody loves wrestling. You good in the ropes, no one really cares if whatever the hamp that you is. So like start there and give people a chance, and then build up to a more diverse community.
I think, what about like writing as well? Because we can have good wrestling all day long. Like, I'll be honest, K Quick, R Truth, whatever you want to call him, he still might have the potential to be a top person just because he is that damn good. He's never been that for WWE because of WWE's writing. So I
Like,
think writing plays a factor in that as well.
now, like, thankfully, like you said, 2011 was probably his best chance of being a main event star when Little Jimmy came out, and he turned against John Morrison, and I'm like, come on, give him an actual program. This is hilarious and serious at the same doggone time. But
Little
like,
Jimmy
thankfully,
says. No, I'm sorry, that thing was funny to me. Little Jimmy says, "I need a bitch back." Like, I'm over here like,
or or
type
or with a
shit.
straight
Lord.
or with a straight face. I'm in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Although I'm afraid of spiders. This is
It's the
one
randomness. Like, he was
one
the
is not
perfect
have justification
24/7
ever.
champ. As much as people hate on the 24/7 championship, it was really great because they didn't script that as much, and our troops got to kind of experiment with different people. It worked. It
It
worked.
did. No, it was good until I don't want to say Dana
Vince.
Brooke per se, because even when Carmella had it, and Carmella and the Truth was doing something, I liked that part of it, where it was the mixed match challenge. So it really was like at a certain point. Why? Y'all messed it up. You screwed it up for me. I don't want to say Dana, but I really feel like when to put it on Dana.
So I think the way to solve the issue you're talking about, CM, is to simply just put it more on TV, right? I mean, the more stuff we see, the less sensitized, the more desensitized we get to it, right? So the more, just do it. Just, it's going to take somebody just putting Bussy on an actual main event level on a TV on Wednesday or Monday or Friday all the time. We just need more of it. The more we see of it, the less people will have an issue with it because it'll just become commonplace.
And like I said, to this day, like, I want to say, I'm looking back at we did the whole Attitude Era Manias. It was like some of this stuff wasn't good, but why did it get on Mania? Because the storyline. I'm very happy to say that now it kind of flipped, where you don't need a storyline per se to get over. If you're good in the ropes, you'll get over. So I do believe if you're good in the ropes, build on that and then give them the program.
I'd also like to give some love to the creator of the Royal Rumble, the one, the only, Pat Patterson.
I did it.
No,
No?
Again, so
Pat Patterson was a piece of shit.
Oh, was he?
The Ring Boy scandal. We gonna act like nobody knows about that?
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
about
we
that.
don't
The
know
Ring
about
Boy
this.
scandal. Look up the Ring Boy scandal, because that's not my place to fully talk about it. But R. Kelly type shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dang. But going towards this, where my mind forgets stuff, I was doing my homework, Attitude Era. I'm like, this main event, which was Triple H versus Mankind, this is really good. Why do I not remember this? But Pat Patterson with his little stank behind draws trying to stink face people, that comes on. I'm like, oh, I remember. I'm like, why? What's going on with my brain? Why do I remember this over the great main event match? This is wrong. This is so wrong. I'm glad I'm more into wrestling now than the storyline. I still want a good story, but I don't need it as much now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm if the story is good like the Bloodline, I'm here for it. But there's so many bad stories just generated just to be stories that it's not even worth it. Like for me, the storyline is enough that you have a title that I want and I'm coming for it. For me, that's more than enough storyline. You don't have to talk about how this is your ex-best friend that you lived with when you were both on crack and nobody ever knew it 10 years ago when y'all was wrestling in the Indies and he slept with your mom's sister and now you can't. Come on now, like it's like every time they come up with some bullshit fucking dumbass backstory about why these guys have to fucking hate each other, and it's dumb, dude.
Okay. No offense, but now I want that storyline. I want someone to do that now. I don't want to
Poor roommate club. Who's going on crack and his aunt?
The Young Bucks go against some person from back in the day, and we used to eat butt.
See, this that right there. That's how we know ALW watch soap operas.
No doubt.
Because that's something Sonny Corinthos would do. Stefano probably did it. Victor
Stefano DiMero for sure.
Like
the Young Bucks would kill that.
Definitely did it like several different times.
Eric
Kane did it.
I want the Young Bucks to be the storyline. Just some random cracked up dope behind tag team. Remember what we did? You owe me. We was together. You owe me.
I mean, we kind of had that in Lucha Underground actually with Kill Switch and AR Fox. Like that was their whole thing. Like, you know what you did, you know you left us for dead. You getting all like these awards and stuff, and I'm the only one who survived. And you set our whole battalion up to get killed. Like that was their storyline in Lucha Underground.
Okay. And you know what?
That's why I'm trying to tell you, Lucha Underground gave you the soap opera that you needed with the wrestling that you wanted, and it had Ricochet in his best role. He ain't say shit, and we love it.
See, case in point, Ricochet. He ain't got no personality, but he got people over in the rings. I'm like, yes, I would prefer that you are good in the mic. But if you're not, give me some flips. Give me some flips. And then going towards the other part, NXT Power, that was the best part of wrestling. When it was Legado versus Tony D'Angelo, it wasn't even that deep. But it was just my turf. This your turf. Oh, well, both of us can be in charge. And it was that simple. And I tuned in every week for that. I'm like, who gonna be the dog? Who gonna be the mafia boss? I want to know.
Real quick, I'd like to ask everybody, who is your favorite wrestler?
All time or current?
Right
Current.
Fuck.
Trinity Fatu
I have to go with Bianca.
or Big Soul.
Fuck. God, I don't even know. Probably Bryan Danielson.
That's why fight about this. To the people who follow us on Twitter, or to you all who get on Twitter, and see anytime that Bryan Danielson comes out, I still call it twerk fight of Valkyries because you gonna get your butt. You gonna get your butt.
Who said it? I think
you said it. You called it twerk fight of Valkyries, and I was like, you know what?
Put your hands up, kick their heads in.
No. I think someone was like, the people who don't like his new theme song is because people who are offbeat. That's the only people who don't like his theme song. Because you can just hit on the two.
Look, if you can listen to Kurt Franklin back in the 90s, you can do the yes movement to the beat because that's a Kurt Franklin beat. It's a Kurt Franklin type beat. It should be over here like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason
Like,
why I was asking that though is because I was wondering if it's true that like your favorite wrestler is typically someone who looks more like you and someone you identify with more. For me, my favorite wrestler is Mox, who is
out of
from
men,
the Midwest, has blonde hair, grew up poor, struggled with substance abuse. Like, yeah, I identify with him a lot, you know.
Now, my favorite wrestler of all time is truly Shawn Michaels. He
Oh,
really
all time mine is Jushin Thunder
of
Liger.
all time. Now, I take pride in this. We have the same birthday. So I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Yes.
and I
July
have the same birthday as
27th.
Shane McMahon. Nick,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
at least mine is worth more money.
Like, we both cancers. We both feel very deeply. So just them two things. That's all I got.
Out of the men currently, out of everyone that I can think of, Mox is my favorite male, but Kenny Omega is as well. But I also identify with Kenny Omega because it's like we both bi. We don't really look too good in our hair. Epic love stories that other people won't understand. I'll be quite honest with you. I actually got some of my friends watching wrestling by playing them BTE when Coda and Kenny get back together as the Golden Lovers, and the movie that like they put together, the whole Golden Lover saga. I got some of my friends into wrestling because of that, and that's why they watch AEW.
I actually have a tie for favorite women's wrestler.
Who's yours?
So Mercedes Moné and Julia.
That's good. That's a good pairing. That's a good pairing.
Mercedes might actually hate Twerk Flight of Valkyries because she can't get the beat. Is it so ALW? You from Cali, and I got a real. Do y'all like when there's beats that are playing? Do y'all just not hear the beat that's playing? You hear a beat like 10 minutes behind the beat. That's like,
Well, there's a lot of people on the West Coast, so I mean that's a blanket comment. But I mean,
it's like her and Blueface both are from Cali, and Blueface can't find the beat if you like put him on the beat.
they just both happen to be rhythmically challenged. That's got nothing to do with the West Coast.
Now I'll say this about Monet. The best times I have enjoyed her theme song was when she and Naomi came out on WrestleMania, and Naomi was killing it on the Bugatti, and then B was Pandemic when her and Bailey won the tag team titles, and Bailey went balls out on her on Sasha's freaking thing. I'm like, this is not even your theme song. The new champ of WWE, and she was just banging.
Listen, I'm not trying to throw shade, but let's be real. Nobody in Mercedes' family has it when it comes to dancing on beat. Like the best is probably Snoop, and even Snoop ain't that good.
Snoop can.
He can, but he raps on beat phenomenally. Dancing on beat, I don't.
But Snoop also doesn't really dance. Like Snoop's dances are very much tied to that Cali culture.
Yeah, all he does is crip walk. He don't do nothing else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She was being politically correct.
I'd still say his crip walk is more on beat than some of his rapping is, but I love Snoop. I love Snoop, but staying on the beat isn't always his strong.
We about to be FNF real quick. I'm about to remove you right from this stream. For that comment. And be like,
if Snoop is watching this, we say this all with love. We're all really big fans.
Don't say we. The two people over there.
Okay,
Snoop is one of my all-time favorites.
ALW are both really big fans. Snoop,
he's in my top 5 all-time favorites.
We love you,
like we love you, but we also think that you dance on beat. So anytime that you want to come holler at your girls. We chill. We watch wrestling. We buy girl.
He said,
what? You
said it. Snoop said it's going to be $250,000 for me to drop
Not
16 bars, and another $250,000 for me to be in the video, and you only get an hour, so you better get it right.
I'm both. I love red and blue. I'm purple. I love red and blue.
$500,000 to get Snoop on a song in the video.
And you know the cops be out here like you can chew them motherfucking Rico shorts.
You think Snoop? And I was sitting at the Super Bowl, and when all the people that probably was from jail was doing the crip walk, that was the proudest moment in Super Bowl history was Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry, you said it. You said it.
Don't talk about the state part again. You know the feds is out here.
Again, I'm purple. I'm purple. I love both colors.
Girl, that's Lord Jesus.
I said purple.
That's a girl. That's a racketeering. We're gonna have to talk offline about shit that she can't stop. Damn. Don't be saying that shit. That's how we get locked up. We're gonna move on. But Mercedes, there's been times where she's been more on beat and she hasn't. I will just say personally, I would like to, completely off topic, I would like to see the videos of Charlotte Flair clogging or however, I don't know the Irish dance name.
It's clogging.
The river dance?
River dance, thank you.
With no
because clogging, they have the shoes. But like,
Right.
she's trying to teach Becky Lynch how to river dance. And I have all types of your legs are so long and your body is so like, how do you
My eldest sister is a clogger.
So is she a clogger or a river dancer?
Clogger.
Plugger.
The shoes.
So like she
Every
does
Wednesday.
the type shoes thing.
Like tap shoes? Yeah, like tap shoes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I couldn't do that.
I'm.
So go ahead.
You know what? On second thought, I think I'll keep this statement to myself.
How bad could it be? Now I want to know because it's like
she didn't watch the.
Baby says he's gonna keep it to.
Did she watch the show? Is she in the comments?
No, we don't need to. We don't need to pull business out there.
All right. Me and my siblings, we all got our own things of our own hobbies that we like to do, and I don't like to judge. The thing is that the one thing we all have in common, I wish we didn't.
Which is what?
I don't know. I don't know if we should.
Yeah, I'm worried about what this is going to say.
Pageants.
Pageants?
I was right to be worried because that world is weird. That is.
You were a pageant king?
Oh yes, I was the
Look at
best.
his face. He definitely would be a pageant kid.
I want to see
hell no. Yeah, we got to see pictures and videos and all that.
No, but you don't have to do that. Don't let them bully you.
No, yes you do. Yes you do. We got to see it. We got to see it.
I even belly danced.
When was the last time?
Last time.
Yesterday?
So like I had stopped when I was 7 and moved into doing martial arts.
Okay.
But when I was in high school, I was requested to help out with a family friend and do theirs, and I won that one too. So.
Oh my God, I got to see that, dude. You have to show us.
I actually asked my sister today, hey, you got any pictures of that? And she told me no, and I was like, good. That means you can't blackmail me with them.
Oh my
God,
God.
we'll say she's probably lying about that.
Damn
but
it.
you don't have to show any pictures that you don't feel like you don't feel comfortable with. Don't let them bully you into these things.
Yes, you do.
Nobody.
Show them.
Okay.
Show 'em.
Until I was 5 years
Show
old, they
'em.
had me convinced that my name was Pretty Baby Boy.
See, we're not bullies. His sisters are bullies. We just want evidence of the bullying. That's all we want. Oh my God.
That's also dear Lord have mercy.
We are trying to exorcise his demons by him revealing it to us. We're going to release it together with him.
Y'all are understanding.
Yes. So we need to
the pageant world is a weird.
Oh my God.
Full of Vaseline.
Please change your YouTube name to Pretty Baby Boy Sammy.
AOW, he's oh my God.
Please. I gotta see these pictures, dude. I have to. Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna scour the internet. There's
See,
got to be somewhere, dude.
see, you
Pretty
shouldn't
baby
have
boy,
told him.
Sammy
You
Joe.
shouldn't have out of everybody. You don't tell ALW. I let everyone.
I
You
gotta
just
see.
don't. Now this man is gonna look till he finds these.
I don't know if you'll be able to find anything. That's the thing.
I think you underestimate ALW.
Yeah.
Trying to laugh at these pictures.
I'll send you photos that I got of me as a kid, and you guys can get a rough idea. But that's the best I can do for y'all.
Well, no, you got one right now.
ALW,
You got to
you're
put it
gonna
up on the
send me
screen.
that, and you have to put up your pictures too when you were a baby.
Oh hell no!
Mm-hmm.
I was adorable. I don't care. I was adorable when I was a baby.
I was cute, but all my pictures got my dad in them, so I don't think y'all got me. My dad. He don't.
You know what?
I got one picture that I can post. I got 3 that I can post on Facebook, and I got to rotate them around for his birthday, my birthday, and Father's Day.
I'm so old. I don't think I have any digital pictures until I was at least a teenager. I mean, I don't have any baby pictures that are digital. Like they're all.
While you're playing, I don't have
So
any.
you have it on like the stone, and they had the.
Exactly. So my mom had to chisel it in and shit. Hell yeah.
My parents got baby pictures with the old school film that they had developed, and they older than you by a few years. Try again.
No. We got pictures. I mean, I have baby pictures. I'm just saying, not online, like digital for me to upload to show
Then
you
that's
guys.
why you need to go. You go home and you take a picture of them, and then you come back and you send it to us.
My mom was on the kick check. She got all the pictures and just got on her phone and just start clicking to be on her phone just in case something happened.
I told my mama that if certain pictures of me ever popped up online, that the pictures she don't want will pop up. And she was like, "Okay, I'll give it to your sister." I said, "Ooh, but I remember where I put her diary in the backyard when I buried it."
Next time I see my mom, I'll upload a couple baby pictures.
Those are the baby pictures baby and kid pictures I can find on my phone. I sent it to the Discord.
Yeah. But are they actual pageant pictures?
No, I don't have any of those.
You can definitely see why he would be a pageant kid.
What it? Put it towards the camera. See him. Let's see if we can see it.
Sammy, is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Look at you, consent
Pageant kid
before
all day.
doing it.
I love the one with the suit and the football. Like those two go together.
That's family, and I don't want to put all of them up there.
You is precious.
Like I said, I love the one with the suit and the football. Like you play football in the suit.
Like
I can definitely see Sammy doing that though.
No doubt, he looks like a pageant kid.
To the side.
I'm not gonna put that one up there because although you are very cute, looking at this background, it is not.
Well, I feel that.
But as we covered, because we do have to wrap it up because it's after midnight here.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock here too.
Wrestling has made a lot of progress. We have gone from always have to wrestle because of for women, that's my boyfriend and you cheated with him, or based on your skin color. We now have storylines that are a little bit more fleshed out, although the main shows on TV have things that they need to change to be more like the indies, which is more inclusive and welcoming. Sammy?
I just said shout out Ron Simmons. Farouk.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, they still do the mainstream AEW and WWE, I'm just going to say it, still do too much traditional stereotyping. When you got black people, they put black people together. When you got white people, they put white people together. Very rarely do you see, like, intergender or intermixed factions.
And when they do, you notice it.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, exactly. And they make a big deal about it, right? Like, commentary seems to be making a big deal about, like, why is Swerve having these two white boys? Like, so,
it's not the two white boys. It's more so, why has he got this tattoo dude who looks like he should be on an 80s movie as like the villain?
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm going to just say, I think it was Dave Chappelle who said it, that you always got to have a white boy in the group.
Or
you always got to have a white friend, for sure.
Yeah, you always need that one white friend that you can call up.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a long way to go. Progress is progress and it's good, but it's much too slow. It's always been much too slow. Yeah, I don't. Something has to change for sure.
Yeah.
So we are live here every Tuesday. Different topics. We will try to come up with things that are not lists. To be quite honest, it's going to be an interesting time going forward. Next week is Valentine's Day.
Who's not going to be here for the Cookout podcast?
I will actually be here because we're not doing anything on Tuesday. I talked to my wife. We're not doing anything on Tuesday, so we're going to celebrate it this weekend instead. So
Don't
we can
fall
talk
for
about
that.
that off because I
okay.
Like
Yeah, no, I hear you.
We need to hear the exact phrasing of that to make sure that you are safe.
Like at least give her a cookie or something. Don't do just nothing.
Okay. So we live here.
I was going to say something, but it's inappropriate. So
off live. We are live here on Tuesdays at 10:30 for the Cookout. Come for the different random topics. Stay to hear about our different random lives. We also have another live watch along show. Starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fridays. These two people over here, the ones who have like the adorable faces, they start watching Friday Night SmackDown with you all from 8 p.m. Eastern. ALW comes in around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I join for the far superior AEW Rampage. However, Friday, if there are pay-per-views, we tend to watch them. Additionally, we have Under the Radar that drops Saturdays. If wrestling has been watching, and by wrestling I mean AEW Dark Elevation, MLW, Impact, and BTE. If they ain't been good, we ain't gonna review it. You can't make us. That's
GCW. GCW this Saturday.
I'm about to get there, man. Okay. That drops at 2 p.m. Eastern. If we always will let you know if we have it or not. It's Sammy's impatient ass.
My bad. I thought it was gonna be before the last thing.
We're gonna be doing GCW reviews on True Heel Heat Gaming on Twitch. And that starts this Saturday. Is it starting at
2 p.m. Pacific?
2.
The first one's at 2. The second one's at 8.
2
Those
p.m.
are Pacific time.
And that is 5 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern as well. You can find us there, and you will find those uploads here. So as you work out, you can listen to us and have some fun on those machines, but not in that creepy way.
Please don't have too much fun on the machines at the gym. God damn.
Don't hurt yourself on the gym.
Don't.
What about Brian Cage? What's going on?
Okay, so Facebook, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Come interact with us. We are pretty friendly, we like to think. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day, a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay warm, stay cool, stay amazing. Peace.
Bye.